right, everybody, we're at it today. We are at it. We are good to go. Everything definitely went to plan, and there were no issues whatsoever, because why would there ever be when it comes to Twitch? Such a thing doesn't exist, I'm promising you right now. But y'all know why you're here. I know why I'm here. We've got a great game with the Fallen here tonight, taking on DarkMode, a team that currently 2-2, doing what they can right now. Fallen, though, I mean, we gotta talk about last night, don't we? It's a big old matchup last night. Did a phenomenal job, managed to get a big win over Leica, and now hoping to ride that momentum into the rest of today. That's what you're hoping for anyway. That's what we're hoping for. Be able to get to 4-4, put themselves in a lot better territory going into the rest of the season. But hey, like I said, all we can do is wait and see what's going to go down. But let me go ahead and pull up the game, because we're about to have the lobby itself be looked at here in a second's time. We'll be able to talk about the fun stuff of what's going on and what we're going to do here today. How much more fun this game could get. So, we'll get in on this. Things are about to get going. Fallen yesterday had a pretty fun lineup. They brought in Ghost and Victory quite a lot. They pretty much everybody except for Wed was in as wow. No wasted movements, I guess. Okay. Didn't even think about that much, did you, Fallen? They're gonna ban out the Misa key super early on. Can't blame it. Misa still really big. Just don't want to have to deal with it. I totally get it. Now we still have to wait and see what DarkMode is going to ban in response. Obviously, they have to go for either tank or DPS. As things looking solid for now. Alright, this is good. This is going to be fun. I got an Ethernet set up today. I've got a consistent rhythm. But when it comes to my output, everything's looking good for the moment. So we'll have to wait and see if it stays that way. As Hunter needs to get Overwatch open, he needs to get it open now. Oh no. That is not the thing you want to forget to do. It's open Overwatch. As it's opening like right now as we speak. Oh, we're gonna be cutting it close. We're gonna be cutting the wire right now. Certainly we get in there. Oh, we're in, baby. We are so in. We are so ready to go on this one. Game's going through too. That's awesome. Everything's going to plan. Pretty much everything, that is. I'm testing some things out still, seeing if I can get other stuff to work as well. We'll simply have to wait and see. We're waiting on a person to connect from each side right now before we get this going. But the other ban is going to be the Mauga. Banned out here by DarkMode, and to be fair, if you watched that game last night, it's a pretty reasonable ban. Bootchop came in pretty much exclusively in a couple of maps to play that Mauga, including the last map of King's Row, where they managed to close things out. So hey, I can't blame DarkMode. I can't blame them in the slightest. So we'll simply have to wait and see, as we just need a couple more people to connect to the lobby, and then we can get this first map going. And again, should be a fun one. 100% should be. In the meantime, I am messing around with my other Twitch and seeing if I can get that thing to work. Oh, because I had a plan at one point of what to do, of like, hey, now that I have my Ethernet, is dual streaming possible? Can I pull that off? Don't know yet. Because the old method I have doesn't work like it used to. But again, that's besides the point right now. We're getting switched into the lobby right now, which means soon y'all be away from my needless rambling and you get to watch the Fallen play. That's what y'all are here on the stream for, as Man, am I losing frames, or was that just me? Boy, I might be losing some frames. We're gonna find out real fast. We're gonna pretend like it's not an issue, though. That's the correct answer every time. As we are ready to get this thing underway. The event y'all came here for. It is Dark Mode taking on the Fallen. And Fallen looking to win back-to-back games, put themselves back at that yield 500 marker in terms of win-loss record. But we'll see what Dark Mode bring to the table. Again, a team with a lot of very recognizable names, a couple that have been around for a long time. Ones of the past, when you think of, Overwatch, so you think of Mathil, you think of Croy. And you see, like, some of the newer names like Triplet, that's kind of been making a name for themselves over the last few seasons as well. But we saw how good this squad came in here today, or I should say last night, with the Fallen, everything they did. Ghost is going to be the one starting out on this one. Ghost won both of their maps yesterday as well, so we'll have to see if we could translate that over to some success right out the rip. Because we started here on Peninsula yesterday as well. And much like we kind of saw yesterday, Martian is in, playing a lot of that Xion, but not much is changing at all from the style that we saw yesterday. To be fair, there's not a big reason for a change to need to happen. So we'll simply have to wait and see as Fallen need to try to find a way to push over on into the point. Meanwhile, Dark Mode is more than happy to kind of take their time and drill things away. As you see Mathil on the run, gonna be able to get out momentarily, still being chased a little bit as you see Ghost trying to assassinate into the backline, is able to hang around a bit longer, but they haven't found a pick yet. The point going to flip over here as Martian is kind of in a world of their own. Waiting for the opportunity to find somebody pick off. Switch is getting super low, as a matter of fact. Benji struggling a little bit. Switch is trying to get out, but you manage to lose out on one. You trade out supports pretty quickly, though, as Croy is literally down to 1 health. Is going to be able to get some top off, but it's just cat heals, and that's only going to do you so much good, as Triplet simply going to get out of that one. So Fallen will take it back, only 25% on the board as well. All right, there you go. As we kind of get ready for this next fight, get it underway. Deadeye ready to go. Vex getting close to their own as well, but Victories is nice and solid, ready to go, as well as that Kitsune Rush. The question is, how difficult will this fight be? Because you could opt to just go super aggro with the Kitsune Rush, but you kind of wait for them to be in a little bit more. Plus, the longer you wait, the more likely it is that, hey, Switch might have it online at the same time as Catch does, who has it ready to go. Maybe waiting for that moment to go ahead and let that loose as, oh, the Fly Noon's in, and oh, there's no getting away from that one, unfortunately. They're going to try to move in, find Switch. They turn it back into a 3v3. Croy does have a Flux, is going to use it very specifically on Ghost, who's going to get a perfectly timed cleanse. Is going to get stolen away as well, as you're going to try to steal away, and you're going to be able to crawl your way back up, and somehow you're still alive. Croy is down to basically no health right now. Has to try to run out of this one. They're going to try to retouch, and they're going to rush just to push them out. So now that's a rough one right there, as they're going to pull that one out, force them back even further, and that's going to be a reset coming through completely for the Fallen, as they still have, they still have Sound Barrier. They're still going to have Deadeye. Now we have to wait and see what's going to go down from here, as Vex is going to lose out on the Deadeye midway through. A Benji in there as well, as they're going to be able to start cleaning out some bodies. Just Croy and Trip with the last ones on. They're going to be able to get it out to about 80%. Make it 79, actually. And now, big fight coming up here. A couple of big ultimates with the Spree, as well as the Deadeye ready to go. But it's all you've really got, so you do have to find a way to make the most out of it. Oh, that is not a good way to get the fight started, I will say. And the question is, how much are you willing to invest now? Because Martian still has the spree ready to go, but it's a bit of a rough fight to take. You almost have to consider backing out of here in a second, as Ghost's really close to falling over. He's still going to hang around. They're going to back out for a second and kind of just get back in here with their ults again, especially as Catch is getting up closer and closer to having this ult ready to go, as the backline is getting pushed back a little bit. Still, they're about to have Rush around the corner. They're able to go right over onto the point right here. Likely not going to hold back on it. Mathel's going to be able to have the spree to match right now as Deadeye comes through. In fact, it's everything being thrown out there. You take a trade. It's becoming a lot less of a trade, though, as Flux comes out. Ghost is not going to be able to do a whole lot to block this out. They're going to get stopped here on this first round. It's a close one, but unfortunately, the big investment just does not pay off. I have to wait and see if there's any adjustments here. So I don't think you have to adjust a lot. I think maybe the style of what you're doing has to maybe make some quick adjustments.
So, I might sometimes pop out of thin air right next to you. Do not shoot me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Now, second round is underway. Martian still over on that Shin as well. No changes over on their side of things. In fact, no changes overall. Triplet still over on the Cat as well. Hoping to keep finding value there. The Fly Noon before did manage to get rid of both Martian and Victory, but I like them moving in as the motorcycles meet each other. Unfortunately, they take the first player down, and now Ghost is going to try to move in, push out Crawley. Is over on that Diva now, as a matter of fact. That is the one thing you have to consider, is that change within the tank position right there. But still, Ghost has gotten into a bit of a rough spot. Looking like they're eventually going to get forced back, but there's still a fight ongoing, but Benji down is pretty much going to cut that out, as, yeah, you're going to see Triplet get out of there alive, and everyone else is simply just needs to take a bit of a reset right here. Catch do a good job trying to play back, but unfortunately just doesn't work out. And Cry, yeah, does get DMAC, does take the reset, so this could be a quick opportunity to come back, but I imagine Triplet is, no, not at the spawner right now, so this is your time to act right here and now and put some bodies on this point and get a free flip. Yeah, that's what they have to do. Now here we go right here above in the sky. Vex gets rid of 2. Again, the Fly Noon doing wonders for them, and all they can really do now is fall down over on this point, get to whatever you can, but catches the last one alive. Would love to get out of here. Doing so, unfortunately, won't get the opportunity. Yeah, the Cat is just hanging up there, I see now. I mean, they're going to have 4 ultimates going into this fight, but at the same time, hey, Fallen is going to have the exact same thing. But the rush is going to go down to their face, and Catch doesn't have it online quite yet, so everyone going to back out. Everyone alive here, as you're going to pull in. Deadeye is going to get rid of Vex, as Triplet going to fall as well. Really good situation here, as they're hoping to get the full wipe here. Eventually be able to take this point away. Victory does get that shot in eventually, as Catch was on the run momentarily. They'll be able to wipe everybody away. Cry falls on over. They're going to be able to cap it out at about maybe 84%. Wait and see what's gonna happen here. Sour in another fight. Triplet down early. This is good as a start as you can honestly hope for right here, especially with that catnap ready to go. It might not be able to find as much value as it did on the previous map, but it could still, you know, pull somebody like Victory or Ghost into the back line, and wouldn't be much to help them at that point. Oh, not again. But everyone just hiding away. No one willing to peek. Victory is going to get rid of 3 in this fight, by the way. And Croy is going to get DMAC and is just going to be left for dead here. As, yeah, just going to be forced to slowly take that fight off the edge. Will be taken out, and now Vex makes the swap over to the Tracer instead to try to get back here. Croy likely going to stay. Bomb is available. Catnap here as well. But there's 4 online. Victory could have a Deadeye set up to prevent touches. But you see how close they're willing to play to stop the touches. But a touch is going to come through. Croy is going to have it set up right here as you're going to try to run down Victory. Gets City Rush. Does end up coming through right now. Catnap going to try to come through. As gets eaten away, though. Ghost still managed to find Mathel. As Croy got to try to get back into this bomb unsuccessfully. So, as the rest of Dark Mode not going to be able to recommit over onto this point. Vex, the last one alive, simply going to back out, has the writing on the wall here. As we're going to head to our 3rd round to decide this one.
Score 1-1. Ready for battle.
Stay close to me and I'll keep you safe.
And now there you go. Look at the stats really quick right now. Ghost in Victory at 17. A Martian,
When I'm through.
like many times we saw yesterday, most kills in the lobby, currently at 18 right now, and also has the 3rd most damage as well. Actually, yeah, 3rd most right now, but everyone is doing their part right now. So we head into this 3rd and final one here, as we see some slight adjustments, I believe. I think, yeah, Mathel, I think, brought out that Xion earlier, but it's back out here. Croy, though, is over on the Sigma as well. I think maybe, as we saw the success from it earlier back on our 1st round right here, you're hoping to find the exact same thing if you're a Dark Mode fan, but you're here, you're balling out. You're waiting to see what happens because Ghost is hanging back on this Hazard that I think got a lot more efficiency out of it last round, as you already see the aggression coming through. Rock going to miss on Ghost, but still, Croy is trying to hang on. Eventually has to drop down, gives away that high ground. As you can see right now, Ghost is going to try to go aggro, just doesn't have anybody with them. Now everyone is just simply going to get forced out, as this should be Dark Mode's fight for the taking, as Benji and Catch will eventually fall on over, as Dark Mode will start with the point. I'm just going to try another thingamabobber. We'll see if that ends up working to standard. I don't know if it's going to. We'll simply have to wait and see. But Ghost is there. Again, maybe needs a little help in this situation right here, because you see how domineering this high ground is being used right now. You're going to have to hope that someone drops when you go for this touch right now, because Rock comes through. Ghost does the same rotation as Victory looks for the Deadeye. Doesn't get a whole lot. Does cause a little bit of separation. Triplet hit with the 3-piece combo, as Benji might be as good as done, as the point super close to flipping over. Consumer Rush is going to come through, and unfortunately, that's going to shut things down. Catch, last one to go down. A couple of big fights here for Dark Mode. As now here we are, already at 50%. You have a rush to be able to throw in. Triplet Vex will have responses, especially helping each other out with those. So, we're simply going to have to see. Catnap goes in. Doesn't find Diddley, unfortunately for them, but now this is the opportunity for Fallen to move on forward. Try to get in on this one right now. Casino Rush is going to force them off of the high ground. Deadeye into the sky, though, as I think Triplet throws off the skybox, bringing Vex into the air. And now, advantage thoroughly right now, going over to the side of the Fallen. Just a couple more bodies remaining over on the point. Mathel going to be the last one hanging around over here, is just trying to stall things out. Will be able to do so to about 85% here, as Fallen do have some work in front of them. now we simply gotta wait and see what's gonna happen from here. Because again, I mean, you still have Deadeye. It's a really good tool. Mathil is gonna have the spray to be able to match Martians. You can already see they're more than willing to kind of keep pushing everybody back. It's a good thing to fly around, and that's going to be a couple of bodies thrown on down. Croy will eventually find a little bit of revenge, but it might not be enough. Croy, barely hanging on by a thread, will eventually go down as Mathil, the last one in here, trying to take a body down with them, won't be able to do so. So it's only one used by Mathil over there. Two do end up being used over here as Benji going back for a moment here. He's, I think, contemplating the swap right now, and I think he's going to end up staying on here instead. Maybe he wanted to go over to the cat to set up for victory in this situation. That's a real possibility. I don't know. Now we have to wait and see what the scenario is at hand as you see Victory still with the Deadeye ready to go as Mathil could be the first one to fall over. They're making sure to push everybody back. They're taking two completely different angles, but you have to be mindful because it's Flux. It could be enough to simply take him out of this thing right now. You see the way that Martian is in there really aggressively, and they're going to go in and try to get rid of Croy. Kitsune Rush is able to push forward, take care of business, but now, as they take a trade out, Victory is gone. I think they're going to have to back off of this for a second, but they've invested everything they've had to win that fight right there. And now the question is, how do you respond to 4 ultimates about to be ready for Dark Mode? I mean, this is going to be exceedingly rough to be able to pull it off. Gonna be able to push everybody away. They know exactly where everybody's at now, though. As Point is going to flip on over. Catch is gonna try to get out. Won't be given the opportunity. Mathil has got rid of 2, and this Flux can be thrown directly over onto one individual. Ghost is gonna get missed, though. The question is, can you get the touch right there as you're to see one be pulled away? Kitsune Rush is gonna be here as well. Ghost is trying to hang around on the point. Trying to find literally anybody to go after right now, but eventually simply going to get pushed back around as Mathil will finish things off. So it comes down to a final fight, but it is Dark Mode who's going to pull this one out. But it's incredibly close there for the fall, and they're keeping themselves in this thing very legitimately, I must say. But I don't know. Now we have to simply wait and see where we go for our next map. And again, I think it's a really good performance, but I think there was a bit of a struggle trying to really get up to this high ground as much as they wanted to. And I think it's a really good swap for Croy to go back over that Sigma. Made it a lot tougher for them to deal with. But now, hey, we'll wait and see what second map is and the first ban as well, both of which will be selected by the Fallen. You know, I'm waiting for the Winton next to me to give some input, give some analytics. It's not happening, apparently. I don't know why I hired the Winton. I'm not quite sure at this point. But one thing I do know is we have a couple of things already in, as I'm going to show really quick. We know they're going to take us to Saravasa, and they're going to ban out good old Fika, getting rid of the Jetpack Cat. Which, to be fair, don't really blame them. Again, the cow was just kind of annoying for them to have to deal with. It's just not something you want to have to kind of mess around with. Again, it's totally legitimate. Totally get it. Vex was flying through the air pretty consistently, more often than not, found value off of the fly noons, so it's a really easy thing to get rid of. Would it have better, been better suited for other maps? There's a good possibility. You could make that argument. But at the same time, if it doesn't get touched right here, it's going to get played again. And I imagine with what, the way we have seen this team develop, what they normally tend to go towards, unless there is a Malga ban here, which, by the way, Malga got banned last map, so that isn't even a possibility. Bootchop is likely going to come in here to take over for Ghost in this situation, which Ghost was playing a little bit of Doomfist yesterday as well. Found a lot of success on that. Like, more than you would ever believe. I gotta be honest. It was a really amazing display. And now as we're here, trying to continue this thing, get things going, we'll simply have to wait and see if we have those lineup changes or not. As remember, you do still have some big players over on the other side of things, as we do see next thing go through. It is going to be the Sojourn being banned out by Dark Mode, but we have some swaps coming through that we'll talk about here in a very quick moment as Hunter hurries to fix everything. He should be able to fix it. He should be able to get it on time. It'll be alright. Maybe. But hey, you know what? Enough talking. Let's talk some more. We're going into this next one. We're heading in to Suravasa, and you see the couple of swaps go around right here. We have Boochomp coming in on tank in place of Ghost. Meanwhile, Krygod, who we didn't see yesterday, coming in this situation here to take over. And now this will be interesting. I mean, Krygod, I remember covering this team a lot earlier on in the season. Krygod played pretty much the entirety of that series. A lot of that Genji was on display as well. So I'm excited to see it now, how it's kind of developed over the last couple of weeks. But it's not going to be an easy story. Let's make that clear right now. Mathil is back over on that Mei to try to shut them down. Still back over on the Cassie. Not a whole lot really changes outside of the fact that Triplet is now playing the Mizuki instead of the Cat. As the other side of things, not a whole lot different. It really is just Krygod being in that makes the difference. And now as we're here entering the very first fight, we do have rallying for control as Catch gets caught out really early, and now this is an opportunity for the Fallen in a 4v5 right here. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain control and be able to get the point first, as you see Boochop and the rest of the squad immediately get out. Krygod not going to be as lucky, unfortunately, as we are going to see the reset coming through. Benji also eats a late death. And one thing about this dark mode team, they have experience. They're going to push up on you if they think there's even a chance that they can safely get rid of one of you. Krygod is still going to stay over on that Genji. This is the volatile comp once they can get it going, but you do have to get things going over here. Which I'm still hanging around. Wall going to push them away from a couple of them comrades for a moment right there. Vex, Triplet getting low. Big stun down right there. Mathil's going to be in a bit of a tough position as going to be eventually booted away. Boochomp's going to keep moving in. They get rid of Triplet as well. Beautiful position now as Cry is running out of resources quickly. Mathil does get a big pick, but Boochomp with the double stop coming down. Mathil the last one to fall on over. It's 85% on the board, but it gives them a chance at this first point as Ultimate's coming close, but nothing online quite yet. Realistically, Vex about to have that Deadeye ready to go right here as they don't have any speeding tools, so they're simply going to have to go in here and use it pretty dry. I don't know if that'll work out for them right now, and if you're the Fallen, you're really hoping it doesn't, but you're eventually going to swing with it. Ooh, Benji, the red in there for a second, is trying to hang in there. It's not going to be able to get anybody at the end of the day. Good wall to kind of separate there as Benji goes in with the aggression. It doesn't work out all that well, though. Martian back over on the run, trying to get out of there, but the rest of the team beginning to suffer as, yeah, it's looking like Catch is the only one alive. Would love to get out of here doing so. As a retouch, unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Now here we are. Big ults coming in this fight, by the way. There's about to have 9 online, depending on how long this fight goes, as Catch and Martian got out of there. Boochop was already really deep into there. As unfortunately, there's no real follow-up to be had. And the bright side is, yeah, you're about to have 4 ultimates online. You have 5 right around the corner with that beat, but now you have to wait, and you're gonna have to invest big time into this fight where there is a lot of counters for you. They can just directly throw the rush back at you. The freeze can counteract, you know, Krygod if need to be right now. Triplet, you know, on their own. They kind of do the same thing right now as Boochop. Wow, that is rough right there. But Krygod and Martian are going to bring this one back around. They're going to get a 2-piece between them. Catch going to finish things off as well. That is 3 ultimates used at the end of the day. But maybe it's worth it. You had to win that fight after you lose Boochop so early on. Who I think has to be playing a little bit more passive right here. I think it's going to take advantage of a little bit. So, hey, we're simply going to have to wait and see what goes down. Mathil currently in on this one. Has a freeze ready to go. And you're going to see Deadeye being used as well. They're going to move in. Freeze coming through. Boochop is just going to be held in. Sound barrier going to come through. But Boochop, again, just going to get massively separated due to all of that. But you talk about someone who's been relentless throughout the entirety of this weekend. It's been Martian, who unfortunately can't finish this one out. They do get it to 64% as Triplet fell a little earlier, but Mathel does get a big finish over here. But now, hey, Ultimates take a big old reset. Big dry fight coming up that Fallen need to find a way to win. Now we simply have to wait and see what the result is going to be here, as with that dry fight, Boochop again has to play carefully, but immediately you're seeing similar results in these fights. Chain down, walled off, Boochop's going to run out of care, and it's going to repeat itself right now. And unfortunately, the situation right now is Vex does get knocked off the edge. I feel like DarkMode just know their solution for this Malga right out the rip. They know what they wanted to do to take care of it. And now, it really is, in this situation, up to seeing how things develop for the Fallen. What they can do going into this next fight. I think Mathel has kind of been the biggest, crux for them thus far. It's been difficult to kind of make that Mei work because, again, you keep getting walled off. The Mei can kind of have that second life with the ice block as well. They'll have to figure something else out really quickly here because, you're going back in this fight with 3 Elephants maybe back online really quick. Martian's trying to pot shot from the side, but Crawley's having none of that right now as they're going to try to touch. They're pulling that corner. Motorcycle is ready to go. Benji is flying through the sky. It's an unfortunate wall as Boochop is going to be able to get a really good stun out there, but it's Vex cleaning things up from the side instead, and that's going to be a wipe coming through. Only about 17% coming through here as well. Again, it's not super pretty, but they're going to keep pushing the way through. They're going to keep doing everything they can to try to win this one, but I don't know, it's like I keep saying before. It's rough. But they're going to have a spree. They got something big to work with right here. Boochop is going to have to play slightly less aggressive. Triplet does go in a little aggro. He's going to back off for a second. Vex is in there right now. Martian is just going to get stunned out, cleansed, everything thrown at them. And now there's nothing you can do but go in, try to find anybody, but Switch manages to find 4 during the fight. And now, backs against the wall if you're DarkMode. You got to figure this thing out. You got to figure out now. You're going to maybe have the rush and the cage fight going forward. But now, the question is who's touching this point, because you see how fast they want to play up. They're going to freeze Boochop the moment they try to touch this point. The moment that rush goes through, because rush is undoubtedly going to have to be used to go through, and you're going to have to throw this cage fight out there well knowing you're going to get frozen right after the fact. And here comes cage fight's going to come through. Freeze is going to come up. It's going to push them back around. Really nicely timed cleanse, though. It's just not going to matter a whole lot. It's just catching Benji hanging about. Benji hanging back, knows the writing on the wall. As, yeah, that's going to be the 3-0 on that map for DarkMode. They're already be at match point in this one. And the Fallen, they need to find a solution. They need to find it now. As an excellent little gray screen that I just ran into. That is fun. Now here we are. It's 2-0 right now. Backs against the wall for the Fallen already, and they made some really quick selections, by the way. I gotta hurry up and show that. They decided to take us over to Rialto. They're also gonna ban out the Sigma. Again, I think Sigma's another really good answer, but if you're bringing the Sigma, does that mean you're keeping Boochop in? That's the question. Because you can't ban out the Malga again. They did it back over on Peninsula. And like the thing is about it as well is I feel like the Fallen have had the most success when you have gotten Cry off of that Sigma. Again, you look back at that Diva that got used to round 2, they managed to take that one away. That's that big round they ended up winning. But now here we are once again. It's a rough scenario for them. They gotta find ways to pull it out though. And now here we are. Gonna see if there's any swaps coming through. Again, we haven't had victory since that first map Ghost was in that first map as well. We'll see if we have any swaps go back around. It would not surprise me if Victory came back in for CryGod and decided to bring back out that Sojourn. I think that's a very real possibility, honestly. We'll have to wait and see, though, as no changes currently set in place for DarkMode, who have remained with that same roster throughout the whole series thus far. I imagine the way things are going for them, I imagine they're going to try to keep it that way. But if you're the Fallen, I mean, again, you've had really good fights, but I think this is where Victory and Ghost likely come in, and they go back to change around the style, kind of more similar to what they ran back on, like, Circuit Royale, like we saw yesterday. I think that might be what we lean towards, because I think they had a really good Circuit Royale. They had a good performance there, but it's something slightly different, as WedTube is looking to be coming in on this one. It is a full-sale swap, I should really throw in there, as that's the finalized choices right there for the Fallen. Once we get into the map, I'll explain them a little bit better. But Kiriko is going to be the other band coming out here from DarkMode. And to be fair, you know, you don't blame it. It's not a bad pick whatsoever. I mean, Kiriko has just been super utilized throughout the whole thing. I mean, especially with the fact that you were running pretty much the entire time if you were catch. And now, as we'll talk about the swap ups in a second here. We're just waiting for one person to connect. And then we'll get this thing rocking and rolling. And there we are. Alright, we're gonna get this thing properly underway, everybody. It is a very quiet day, by the way. I know people are here. I know we're big chillin'. We gotta bring the energy, though. We gotta bring that energy around. But, hey, we're ready to head into our third map of the series, and we're heading over to Rialto to do it. Should be a lot of fun. Fallen backs are pretty against the wall, but they gotta find a way to be able to bounce through it here, as they are on the attack first. You'll see the setup coming through momentarily, but I wanted to talk about the swaps that came through. Ghost coming back in for Tank, as Bootchomp played that last map. You have Victory coming in for CryGod, and you have Wed, who's going to be coming in on that support category to take over for Benji. So we'll see the difference. Wed is usually in to kind of play that Alaria maps like Circuit Royale. We've seen that a couple of times in the past. And all we can do is really wait and see how well this works, because this is going to be a far more pokey style. And I wonder if Ghost is going to stay on the Hazard. I imagine the answer is yes. And Cry over on the Diva, maybe that's what you're looking for. You know, if you are the Fallen, you know? Vex looking for the headshot. Victory is as well. Neither really want to find each other, if we're being perfectly honest. They know where each other are at, though. And now they're in the pure 1v1. But high ground not being rallied for quite yet. As you see Matho kind of hiding around that corner there near the point. Victory is done in by the Widow 1v1. Opens things up big time for the rest of the squad to be able to move in if they feel like it. But right now, Ghost is just going to get some care, hang around, stay alive. Gets chained down, but it's not going to matter a whole lot right here, as all of them going to transition to the outside. Now the question is, how are you going to find a way to get in here? Because you force Triplet off that high ground, it's going to be able to get back up there if they desire. As Victory getting back into the fight right now is waiting. Everyone's hanging around. They don't know exactly where Victory is at right now, as nobody's willing to kind of peek their head. They simply have kind of flipped the map at each other a little bit. As Point going to get moving, Matho gets super low, and Triplet will get assassinated. TP coming through. Mathel now gone as well, but Vex finds a really convincing double headshot. Isn't able to get the third, though. It's just Switch and Croy still hanging around. Mathel going to switch over to make it back here in time. But there's still plenty of time to get back, especially as you're waiting for, I mean, your support line to get back, honestly. And that's why you're watching them play super safe right here. That's what they got to do, as Triplet does fall over. Again, Martian has found so much success off of this Shion. Has been one of the better ones I have seen in this division thus far. As Croy Going to be able to get the initial touch right here. Over onto the point right now. Is going to struggle to stay in this one. We'll be taking off. And it's going to be a relatively quick take here for the Fallen to get things started. They're going to clean things up. Vex, another big headshot. But should be forced out at the very least. Likely not taken out. But yeah, we'll get forced back. And that's what you have to keep doing. Because Victory, he's having a bit of trouble in the 1v1, so you got to keep making that room, and eventually you're probably going to consider swapping things around.
No one can hide from my sight.
Sight's going to come out for both of our Widowmakers right here, hoping to find the headshot. Gets it over on the switch triplet. Reads the writing on the wall. He's going to back up, but Ghost is in a little too aggressive right there. Back to a proper 4v4 as neither Widow wants to be the one to make that swap over. And yeah, pulls the trigger. Vex knows darn well someone's hanging around in there right there as Catch is currently over on there. Will get a really nice timed wall right there to be able to get out alive. But now this is where you have to kind of capitalize on everything that's happened thus far. Again, you have some really good ultimates available. You're sitting in a really good position at that. But Vex, just another big headshot. Is hard to stop Vex at the time, as there is an anti trying to come through. Doesn't catch on to anybody. And now the question is, how do you adjust from here? Because the moment you peek this corner, you're going to be able to get out there. You're going to try to pull somebody down. Don't manage to get anybody with it, but you do clear that extra lane. And now you got to continue to take advantage of it right now as Wed is going to try to let this loose. Unfortunately, does have it be eaten away. Big Sleep comes through. Fortunately, I don't know how much it's going to ultimately matter as Ghost gets a really big pick. Wed gets a really big pick as well, but it's currently one of the last people standing as with Ghost falling down. This will cause this fight to come to its natural end as a little bit of 80 strafe coming through here for Wed. Vex is trying to get it, but Wed knows how to play the game. Just managed to avoid it big time. But now there's 2:20 left on the clock. Still trying to find ways to get through this choke right now. That sightline has been just... I mean, I'll show you guys how Vex has kind of just been holding this area locked down. And you see that, I mean, gets Victory all the way from back there. Doesn't finish them off, thankfully, but still, we're in a rough scenario where Martian's getting forced out so heavily. Someone's got to eventually find Vex, and with the sights online, it's going to be even harder to find right now as Vex drops down. That is a rough one, as you're going to see Martian be taken out by Mathel after trying to go in there. Again, you force a scenario where you're back into a 3v3. It could be winnable, but, I mean, you still have double support alive for Crawley right now. So it's hard to really do anything right here. To see Triplet go in, eventually going to be forced out. Downpour is still ready for Ghost, who is just getting obliterated right now. Has to back out, get a little bit of care. As they're back over onto the point, Downpour going to be available as well. Bomb here as a second life for Crawley as waiting for an opportunity right now. You see Mathel going to move in, trying to find anybody off that one right there. Is trying to find a target right now. Eventually does find one. I think the damage is going to be done. And we see the re-mech coming through. Reset for Wed and Ghost imminent as Ghost is the last one alive. Would love to get out of here. Doing so, we'll get rid of Vex and then stays alive. Okay, this becomes a different story. Vex is going to take a second to truly get back here and get back in business. You're going to have all 5 around the corner. 3 ultimates as well. Sights early, as well as by Victor. I think that's fine. Again, force everybody back. Croy can only hang around for so long, and it's going to be Victor trying to find these headshots. As you see the fashion coming back for Vex right now, who's going to try to go to the back line. He's close to exploding, will eventually fall on over. Croy is in the back line. Did end up getting that nano and simply got slept right now as Ghost sitting incredibly low is trying to be kept up. Will eventually do so. And now it gets rough right now because you see how forward Ghost decides to go. Vex is going to pull that corner to try to burn Ghost away, who's hanging on by a thread and trying to block all the damage. Ultimately can't do it. Mathel takes a nap, but I don't know what's going to matter. They're going to get stopped here. Now, the finish line could be in place for DarkMode. It's a really good final fight, but again, that aggression that goes forward just doesn't go their way.
Score 0-1. Switching sides.
Now the question is, what do you do? What do you do? What is your response? Because a lot of these fights weren't bad. I think it's mainly the fact that a lot of these fights never truly got going. It was Vex just kind of getting that opening pick, being a really big threat. There's a reason why they're tied for elims in the lobby, you know? Still, simply gonna have to wait and see what we're going to get out of this one right here. Vex triplet. I mean, we might be going back to cat back shenanigans, honestly. It'd be funny. It wouldn't be a great sign of things, I will say. See, Martian is back over on the Tracer right now. I think he's going to try to be a little bit more of an assassin towards Vex. I think that's the idea, but that's, you know, going off the basis that you would consider that the Widowmaker would still be there. Oh, hi. Everyone else is here. Hello. How's it going? Either way, you need a really good first hold here. You absolutely need it in this situation. Now this is where we're going to find out very quickly that you're in for some cat bashing gameplays. Everyone else will be forced around. They see it clear as day, and now you know the kind of game this is going to turn into. Martian's not going to have their target to go after, at least not an easy target by any means. Has to find somebody that isn't named Vex more than likely as, man, I mean, knew, just pulled that corner, had the sights ready to go. Kemeshin's in that backline right now. You see Switch, the way that Switch is positioned right now is kind of in the middle of nowhere. Eventually he's going to be forced back right now as it's actually Mathel who's going to be at risk for a moment here. Is getting pushed back pretty heavily, but pulls a corner. Wed ends up falling on over. This is not going to be a great first fight to get things going as catching Victory trying to get out of here alive, and it's looking like neither is going to properly accomplish that one. They should be able to get a retouch coming up here, but how easily can they pull that off? Ghost gonna come back on that. Doomfist taken care of really quickly. It's a really good pick by Martian in the backline, but now 5 minutes on the clock. They got 102 meters to go. It's starting to get a little rough right now. They gotta find a way to pull this one out. And they gotta start doing it right now as well. It's gonna be a hard hold. You've gotta find a way to be able to pull it out. I like Victory being over on this Cassidy a lot. Ghost sticking on to the Doomfist. I don't hate either. But you're going to have to let this point move over a bit more if you're going to find value out of the style as, wow, I mean, they go back immediately trying to take care of it. Ghost is in the middle of nowhere now. It does leave the opening right now as Triplet taken care of in the back line as, ooh, another one coming through big time as Ghost is going to keep bobbing and weaving. And I think, honestly, this is probably the right play. They're being forced back into the room. Doomfist is in here right now. They need to find a pick in here really badly. Nano gets thrown out. It won't get lost, surprisingly. As now Martian going to pull out there. Pulse Bomb going to miss. It's the full wipe coming through. And now here we are. Fallen got to prove what they got right here and now. They've got a single Deadeye to their name. And it's got to find a way to work out. Bomb going to be thrown in right now. And it catches onto the one person it couldn't hit. You lose out on the ultimate right now. Switch be given all the protection in the world. Martian going to be able to go and grab the Mega Health Pack. As Ghost hanging around in the back line. Hoping to get back out of there right now. Is going to have everything thrown at their face. They're gone. You see, he's trying to find something here. Able to catch over onto one. Croy will eventually explode, but Mathel is just going to close this one out. As one more touch from Martian coming through. Beat burnt away. DarkMode are going to win this in 3-0 fashion. Oh boy, it is a tough one. That's a tough one to have right there. But give it everything they've got. And to be fair, again, they had some really bright spots for this entire series. I think this Dark Mode team that I think maybe has been looked down upon a little bit, they come in today, they have that fire burning. It's rough. It's rough. But now here we are. So that's going to be 3 and 5 now for the Fallen, who, again, you just got to find ways to keep bouncing back. They found a great way to do it against Leica yesterday. They just couldn't duplicate that here today, unfortunately. It's a rough story. It's unfortunate. But, hey, the season's not done for them. They still have a lot to be able to invest. They have a lot of time as well, a lot of games, but you got to start taking some of those big wins as well. It's a rough one. Quickly talking about some of the games that are ongoing right now, just to kind of just talk about things really quick before we head out for the night. Team Missing is actually tied up with Vivacity 1-1. Nightmare is beating Mouse 5-2-0. Amplify is up on Grimoire 1-0. It's a tied ball game between Extinction and Iliad Artemis, and it's a tied ball game between Leica and Tanuki. Which, by the looks of it, Sawhill is still in. Actually, where is that? I asked, where's Winter? That's a whole different conversation, I'm realizing. And that's something that I don't know. And I'm not going to begin to speculate on. So, I mean, with that being the case, it's unfortunate, but we have more games coming up. We got a game coming up, I believe, we have a couple games coming up throughout the rest of the week. I'm going to go and double check for y'all. Fallen's next game, they have a game against Nightmare coming up on Wednesday, and the day after that, on Thursday, a game I know I'll be covering, the Fallen is taking on Team Missing. And I believe that's all our games for the week until we get over to another one against Tanuki. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have action going on for the next couple of days with them. A day off tomorrow for a lot of the teams. In fact, I think all of the teams are off tomorrow. And then we'll bring back that action. But either way, I mean, that's about all we've got here today. I mean, hey, it's a quick game, but Fallen, they give it what they got. It's unfortunate, but they got to find ways to keep putting themselves into contention. And DarkMode is trying to do the exact same thing with a win like this. So everybody, appreciate y'all being here. Appreciate y'all coming and having a good time. Hopefully I can have things a little figured out next time so my stream can start a few minutes faster. That'd be a little nice, wouldn't it? But I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. We'll be back on for the Fallen itself. I'm pretty sure they'll be broadcasting their game coming up this Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So you can come back here for that game. I have some duties to, or some things to attend to on that day. So, hey, still be cheering them on. Still be everything we can do. Everyone, have a good night. We'll be back for some more FACEIT League action. Take care, y'all.